And I think we're live now.
And
Hey,
then I
guys.
said, it's because I'm a very quiet gorilla.
I get it. I didn't even need the whole setup of the joke. I just needed the punchline, and I get it.
What even? Hey, Rob, you made it.
Yes. A wizard.
You're only a minute late.
Yeah. A wizard arrives precisely when he intends to.
Exactly. What's up, folks?
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going real good.
Dan, I need you to come over and help me some lights.
Okay.
All right, that was easy. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Cool.
Smash that notification icon.
Do you need me to send you an engagement letter or what? Like, what are we talking about here?
You got to fill out his dance card.
Yes, exactly. Is anyone drinking, or is it just going to be me?
I got you, Rob.
No, I got to. I work. Look at you guys drinking on a work night.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm getting up at, well, not any earlier than normal, but I'm getting up and driving to Georgia tomorrow. So.
Oh.
Well, I'm celebrating Black History Month.
Business or pleasure?
What? Sorry, Rob. What are you celebrating?
Go ahead, Dan. What are you going to Georgia for?
We're going to see Lori's family.
Oh, okay.
Business.
That'll be fun. What I was saying was it's Black History Month, so I'm drinking several fun things. This is fresh bourbon. This is from a local distiller.
Nice.
Tanya Sean Fresh for bringing this bourbon. It's delicious. Also, this is the second batch of the Untold Story. I think I've talked about this a previous time. Can you all see that?
Yes. There we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first Untold Story bourbon was really good. It's done by Castle and Key, which is close to where you guys are. When I say you guys, I mean like Frankfurt. And it was good. This is wheated, and it's amazing. It's fantastic. So like there's a strong possibility I might finish half of this, but it's really, really, really delicious. So Castle and Key really knocked it out of the park.
When you say wheated, is that with a T or a D?
TWHEAT.
Wheat.
D. Wheat.
I figured that was the case, but you never know.
I have that, but that's not on this stream for this time. That'll be another time. And I'm celebrating using my Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild focus. There we go. Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild.
Ooh, I like that.
Cheers. Oh, let me read what this says. Hold on. I am officially an old man. That's why I'm Rob 64, so I have to take off my glasses so I can see. Throughout history, since the inception of America, the bourbon whiskey industry has mirrored society in many ways. There are both the told and untold tales of triumph and travesty. The bourbon industry continues to survive this test of times. People continue to have conversations about race and social issues, and because of that, we hear the rumble of once whispered family stories of African-American bourbon traditions that speak of secret recipes and hidden distilleries in the hollers of Kentucky and the urban communities that are the heart of bourbon country. So this is a really cool event when they launched this. They had professors and folks from like historically black schools around the state and Castle and Key representative that they weren't like, hey, we're just going to partner up with you guys just to make like a black person's bourbon. Like we actually care about these agendas. So we're also like donating money to help young master distillers of color to come up through the school. It was a really cool thing. So I am drinking, I'm getting crunk for science and for the children.
Nice.
For science.
Nice. That's awesome.
Boop.
That is very cool. Dan, what are you drinking?
Oh, it's just beer.
Just beer.
Blue Moon. You're just like, this is beer.
That's true. I probably should have dropped the huge history lesson. You're just drinking a beer.
It's just beer.
You just go into the store and say, just give me beer.
I would like beer, please. or it's I go into the store and I say, give me a keg of beer.
I feel like I should know what that's from.
Yeah, you should.
You should.
Somebody in the chat's going to get there before you do.
Oh, no. All right.
There you go. It did sound a little bit like Michael Keaton Batman instead of Alex P. Keaton Teen Wolf, which is what I was going for.
Wow. So
how about that comparison? That was on the fly, baby.
That was
Marty.
Did you watch the Super Bowl Flash trailer and see Michael Keaton as Batman? That's the Batman.
Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh. All right, I'll share first. I really loved. Oh my gosh! Even though I don't like Ezra, he kind of bothers me as a person. I think kidnapping people is probably something people shouldn't do. But Michael Keaton coming in as Batman is like, okay, maybe I'll watch the movie. And James Gunn said this is the best superhero movie he's seen in a long time. But then again, James Gunn is kind of like the DC continuous universe whip. So of course he's going to say that, right. So I heard hesitancy in your voice, Dan. What's the hesitancy?
Well, it's just that, like, you know, how many times do I have to write off the DC cinematic universe as not for me? Because here's the thing, though, you know, that's why they put Michael Keaton Batman in it, is specifically for people like me who are like, no, I'm done with that. That's not for me. But I dearly love Michael Keaton Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, will I be sucked in? You know, only time can tell.
It's going to be the best 11.
Only my Undertaker knows for sure.
Indeed. All right, let's say hi to folks real quick because we got some people in here. Let's see. What's up, Lionheart?
Hey,
hi to everybody here.
Hi. What's up, Lionheart?
And we've got a bunch of cheers. We got some. There's Torsten. It looks like we might have some fellow imbibers.
Definitely cheers.
Cheers.
There we go. Oh, and here we go. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
Well, hold on now.
Let's be honest though. I could just watch Michael Keaton play Batman in a terrible, like, non-Batman film for hours and hours on end. I mean, like, so it's really, like, completely independent of the quality of the Flash film, you know? And I would probably be just as well served by a YouTube clip that is, you know, the what is probably going to be 4 minutes and 32 seconds worth of Michael Keaton in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching that and be perfectly satisfied.
Just the trailer. They'll add all the good parts in the trailer, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think this point is taken about Black Adam. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Dwayne The Rock, the most electrifying entertainer of all time. Like, I'm a big fan, and I watched Black Adam, and I was expecting like a very top tier movie, and it just was not. The character himself, and, like, you know, I've actually read a Black Adam comic or two, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, and the character just wasn't very dynamic. And I know that's not because of The Rock's lack of acting. I don't know. I was kind of sad about this. I was like, I mean, I really expected to buy this and get, like, you know, the toys and the costumes and everything. I already got the tattoos and the strength, right? We're good there. But, like, I thought it was going to be awesome, and that wasn't the case. So, you know, that does kind of make me a little hesitant about the Flash. It's like, this is going to be another Black Adam.
I don't know. I didn't see Black Adam either, because, again, I see my previous writing off of the DC cinematic universe. It's just I'm so sad because I would love to love it.
Andrew, can you click on the News Pui channel comment here about Batgirl? Thank you. So I thought this is an interesting comment too, because I've been following Leslie Grace for a while, and the question is, was this movie salvageable or not? And she says it was completely watchable. It should have been salvageable, but the Warner Brothers executives said it was not. So I'm really sure, what is the truth? Is the truth in the middle? Is it really that bad? Was it written poorly? Like, I don't know. I'm very questioned about this too, but I am very bummed because I would love to have seen a person of color as Batgirl, like doing the thing. And I like her anyway. And, like, the scenes that we've seen look really cool. But I mean, I also understand this thing costs $90 million. You can't just, like, that's nothing to play with, right? I kind of get it, but I am disappointed in that too.
Well, but I thought that the word came out, and again, I've only been following this halfway, so I'm probably skewing this, but I thought the word came out that it was part of a larger tax loss move. That they just
rather than save the movie,
these movies and take them as a loss than magic taxes.
Yeah, which, again, that's, I mean,
it seems ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, again, $90 million is nothing to play with, right? I get it. I guess.
Oh,
Speaking of Batgirl, by the way,
change.
It's a fat cat. Oh my god.
I'm putting if you haven't seen it already, there is a leaked trailer. This is not the real trailer, obviously, but one of my favorite channels, Corridor Digital, they did this maybe a couple months ago. So it's been around for a little bit, but if you haven't seen it, they are like one of my like just channels for inspiration for just video making in general. And they did a really awesome take on Batgirl using, I think, I can't remember exactly what they did at this point, but they used some found footage, some leaked footage, combined that with some actors of their own and did some other stuff and put together what could have been.
I saw that. Yes, I have. Now that I'm thinking that you're describing this, I saw this trailer and I was like, dude, I'm hyped. Let me all in.
Right?
And yeah, it actually looks like when I first saw it, I thought it was all their footage or all real footage from the film, but that's not the case. They did a fantastic job. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, they
And
did a
some
wonderful
subtle
job.
digs in there too, which made me laugh.
Oh yeah. Yep. They're pretty good at that. They're pretty good at that.
It's like the things that you wish were true.
Okay.
Like the SNL skit of Super Mario Brothers. Did you see that one, Rob? That one was good.
Oh, was that the one where it was supposed to be like The Last of Us?
The
like
Last of Us, yeah. Really gritty.
Mario?
I was like,
Yes, I
I'd
did
watch
see that.
this.
And I laughed a lot. And I kind of want to see like super gritty Mario. And we've seen like, YouTube has done, not YouTube, but there have been.
Well, I mean, they've had those spoofs like that. I mean, it's like if you guys look up, it was years ago, Wes Anderson or Spider-Man done as Wes Anderson film. That one was excellent, and it's just a spoof.
Andrew's being fancy. Yeah, there was one. It was dark and gritty Mario, and it was like the same guy playing Mario and Luigi, but it was like still that same type of like, wow, they have a lot of gritty. I totally laugh at these things. Torsten, I see that you have been playing Breath of the Wild. Were I to name my top 10 games of all time, Breath of the Wild is probably in there. And I'm glad that you're doing this because Tears/Tears, it's Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom will be here May 12th, which is my birthday. Actually, all of May is my birthday, not May 12th. Just May is my birthday. So that'll be thanks Nintendo for releasing this game in celebration of May. But it'll be good for you to get some Breath of the Wild hours in before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. And it'll also be interesting to see as someone who's coming into the game like late to see if it still sticks for you. So I'm very curious and interested to see how like you like that. So tune in next month and I want to hear more of your progress as you go through Hyrule. I love that game. The only game that even comes close on the Switch with Breath of the Wild is Super Mario Odyssey, which that's a strange thing to say. Typically, I love Zelda more than anything, but Mario Odyssey was so good, especially the in-game. I don't know. Keep us posted, please.
I mean, you know how that I play just all the video games, but I will say Breath of the Wild is easily in my top 3, and I can think of at least 3 video games that I've played a lot of.
There you go. See.
I mean, Baldur's Gate is in that list too. So
there's a Baldur's Gate remaster for Switch. I'll buy it for you, Dan.
I know.
Give me the money.
That's
and I'll
great.
Get it.
So Rob,
Heather's actually played Baldur's Gate
as a only very, very casual gamer, but someone who intends to pick up Tears and Rain when it comes out. Thank you.
Thank you. I got it.
Are we close enough to the release date now that you feel confident in saying they are not going to say, and all you have to do to play this game is to get Switch 2?
No. So there have been leaks about a new OLED Switch that looks like Hyrule stuff on it, but it is still going to be the same SoC, the same Tegra 1 chipset that we've been used to. I think Switch 2, Switch Pro, new Switch Pro 2, whatever they end up calling the thing, I think that's going to be pushed out. I think Nintendo's going to be like, whatever, we'll deal with it. Because currently it is the number 3 most sold console from Nintendo's like backlog.
Oh yeah, they're going to keep this going for a while.
Yeah.
They're going to push it out because their sales have been so stellar. And then Newspooey mentioned something that I was really excited about to hear is Batten Kaitos getting a re-release. There's been some, I think they're not doing the original voices, which is kind of sad because that kind of added to the ambience. I actually really liked it. I played the originals back in the day. It's an amazing game.
Yes.
Pick it up if you haven't when it comes out, and definitely play it.
Did you play it on the GameCube?
I played
originally?
it on the GameCube.
Yeah, that game is worth like $600, so don't sell it if you haven't.
I've got it. I don't have Origins. I have just the other one. So I'm interested because I played a little bit of Origins, but I just rented it back in the day, back when you could rent video games.
Let me tell you kids about renting video games.
Let me get my walker out.
Yeah, Batman Kaitos is something that I missed out on back in the GameCube era, but now that's
Really?
being released, I'm totally all over it. That and Etrian Odyssey 1, 2, I think, are also announced for Switch. That looks like something interesting as well. So, yeah, I wish though, as cool as these like deep cut games for the GameCube are being released for the Switch, and Game Boy games being released for the Switch, and Game Boy Advance games released for the Switch, which means that you can almost play every Zelda and almost every Mario. No cursing. They won't release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. If we can get those two, I can take the Wii U and put it up here behind me instead of being attached to the TV. Because my kids still like to play Wind Waker because it's a fantastic game. And I was positive this Nintendo Direct would be like, hey, Zelda Tears/Rain of the Kingdom is coming out. Here is some Zelda things to whet your appetite. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess double pack or something like that.
No.
Now, we got our Metroid, which I had some developer friends talk about that, so we knew that was coming soon. But where's Wind Waker?
And here I was like, didn't that game just come out? Isn't it Metroid Prime?
Yeah,
And I was
Metroid
like,
Prime.
Wait, they're re-releasing this already? And then I was like, oh, Tina, how long has this been?
Yeah, Tina, I don't mean to date us,
I know,
but that game came out in 2002. So that is
right?
21 years old. But what's also cool about that is Metroid Prime still looks really good. Andrew, you remember our Metroid video that we cut together. Metroid Prime still looks really good and plays really well. And this remastered, I haven't downloaded, I haven't started it yet, but I've been watching videos and things like that from Modern Vintage Gamer and from Digital Foundry. I can't wait to go through it again. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's how you're supposed to do a remaster. It's built on the same engine, but 20 years of growing the engine and making it more modern and better and all features and things like that. So, yeah, it's great. Thank you for giving us more Metroid. Andrew might have to re-edit that video and add Metroid Prime Remastered into it. But give me Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, please.
For the future. Theater Rhythm came out today. Are you getting it?
I am going to eventually get it.
Eventually get it.
Because I have the other one.
Physical copy or just digital download?
Physical copy. Because I have Curtain Call, I think it was the last one that I got.
Yes.
So I got that one and I haven't finished it. So I need to go through that. Rodney joined the Discord. You're absolutely right. I have Andrew, you can empathize with this. Okay. I want to put a pin in talking about music and Final Fantasy because I want to tell a quick story about that. But Andrew can really empathize why I don't like Discord. I worked on this product for 20 years, or a little small company called DataBeam that turned into a small company called Lotus, turned into a small company called IBM. And all other communication, social, chat, audio, video programs bother me. So I have PTSD for anything that's not AOL Instant Messenger or Same Time, and that's it. So I have a very love-hate association with Discord. I like Slack. I can deal with Teams. I just don't like Discord. But I know this is probably me as old man on my lawn throwing darts at the kids. Your Discord. Discord's in the name. Why would you want Discord in your chat? I hear me saying it. So I'm going to let this go. And I'm going to join the near mint condition video game Discord.
Hey.
I will.
There you
You're
go.
going to try to take us back to the AIM days or the MRC.
Dude, I still get fuzzy when I hear the door sound. Dude.
Mm-hmm.
That means fun times are about to occur.
And that reminds me, tying this into Valentine's Day, which was just a couple of days ago. So as Rob just mentioned, him and I used to work together for a long time. And one of the things that I miss because we don't work together now is showing up to my desk on Valentine's Day and there being nice little paper Valentine from Rob.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I still have a couple of those laying around here somewhere.
So the funny
Laying
thing about
around.
Valentine's Day is you're absolutely right. Like my wife and I don't typically celebrate Valentine's Day because our anniversary is in like 2 weeks. Like, bruh, we'll just go out and get a big fancy steak in 2 weeks rather than do it when everyone else is there, right? But what that does is it opens up free time for me to show Valentine's love to everyone that I know of, right? So I am the guy that writes hand notes and gives them to all kinds of people. And one of the things I used to do, you're absolutely right, go to everyone's desk at IBM. That was cool. That's why Andrew got one. And write them a little note. Happy Valentine's Day.
I was the only one, right? I thought I was the only one.
We had some really cool coworkers, man. I got to give them props. I have to give them props, right? Not everybody though, but you were definitely top tier. You were at least S class. You were S class, not S plus, but you're S class. So this year is the same thing. Like I wrote notes because I think this Valentine's Day originated like writing hand notes to people. I think that's how that originally started from Saint Valentine, I think was his name. I could be wrong on this. So I did this to all my coworkers and I did this to a couple other people, but there was a part of me that was like my IBM crew. I was like, daggone it, I can't go over there and like give them these things anymore. I can't do that. So yeah, you all are on my heart. So since I couldn't write something, I at least texted everybody. It was like, here's a gif of Luigi going, or Waluigi going, ha ha ha, happy Valentine's Day or something like that. So yeah, happy Valentine's Day to all you guys as well too.
That's right. Yep, that's right. Well received. The good old days.
I need my back pill.
You're using Discord pretty much just like Slack, which is your other favorite love, right?
I do. I have gotten used to Slack. I can deal with Slack. So it's all right. I'll do it. I have the amazing Pixel 7 Pro. I'll go ahead and join this Discord tomorrow after I've slept over it.
Put an alert
Okay.
on your phone.
I'm going to try something here real quick. Y'all tell me. I'm switching microphones. I'm trying to get this good microphone working again, but it could sound really, really weird if I can find
Tinny?
the right. We'll see. Okay. Can you hear me?
It's a little,
Yep.
little.
Oh, wait. You sound a little echoey. Say something else.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support there, guys.
Sing the Black National Anthem.
playing
Andrew.
along.
We know
Thanks for
how it
You're
playing
a
along, fellas.
little at a distance.
Really? Am I really? Check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a room, but you're speaking a mile away. Not quite a mile.
All right.
Or that you're speaking through a paper tube.
Busted.
Can
All
with a
right.
string.
We'll just go back to the regular mic.
was that's the one using the force thing, right? You're actually
Yeah, I've got
What?
this. I have this running through a Scarlett Focusrite.
the
audio
Focusrite.
board.
That should
I've been having some
sound
problems.
amazing.
It should. I've been having some problems lately, and I think maybe it's a bad cable. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
So
I'll head over to your
Yeah.
house and we'll do some troubleshooting.
there we go.
Since I
Real-time
do AV at
troubleshooting.
a church, I do AV at work. I might as well do AV at your house too. But I do have a $75 an hour fee. But that
You
could be
can
up
charge
to
it to. You can charge it to the channel. Omar's got
There
it
you go.
covered.
Omar's got
Friends
it
and
covered.
family discount.
It's $50. Tina, for you, it's 25 because you're my gal.
Invite me
You're
over to
an
your house. I'm going to
okay
sell all your
gal.
games. Sell them back to you.
Hey, so we didn't do one of these in January, which means we haven't had a chance to show off any Christmas presents. And this isn't much, but my brother-in-law got me this, which is, don't get too excited. It's just a case for my headphones, for my Beats.
I'm looking like,
Which is
what
sweet.
is-
I was like, is that an ornament? Like, that's sweet, but
The
What
world's
is that?
smallest. This is the new Switch. This is what you'll have to play.
Oh my
next Zelda.
gosh! Do you remember when they had the oval?
You heard it here first.
By 1
The
inch.
oval thing, and people are losing their mind. That's what you just did there. News Pooty Channel again. Chanel. That's what we're gonna say. Chanel. It's like totally pulling my hamstrings. Talking about Gargo's Quest. I have Gargo's Quest for the Game Boy right over there. So that's my thing. And talking about ICQ. Remember, ICQ turned into AOL Instant Messenger, right? Is that right, Andrew? I think that was the sequence of events.
Maybe.
Wasn't that right? I think it's the same protocol. Because those
Might be the
folks
same
in Israel
protocol.
that we
ICQ
also
last
use our
year.
protocols from too.
I'm gonna have to look
So-
it up now.
Yeah. See, look, deep cuts here, deep cuts. But yeah, So who here has a Nintendo Switch and who's updated to get the new Game Boy and Game Boy Advance? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Nintendo has done a really. Is this me? Really, Dan?
What? Tell me more. Tell me more. Hold on. What
now?
now?
Again, I will get my Switch back out when Tears and Rain comes out.
Okay, Tears of the Rain comes out. So, okay, all right. In case you're not like me and Tina, where we watch Nintendo Directs feverishly and scream, and people are like, "Why are y'all making all this noise?"
I was at work.
Yeah, I was at work too. I was typing, and I had the volume low, but I was still watching the thing. So there might be some typos in our game. That's totally because of the Nintendo Direct. So the Nintendo Online service, they give you incentive to try and pay for their online service or whatever. And they had like N64 emulation, so now you can play GoldenEye, which is kind of cool. But they also announced Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance emulation. And unlike the Nintendo 64 emulation, which was kind of a little buggy, like fog and distance and things weren't exactly correct, but they eventually corrected it. The Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance emulation on the Nintendo Switch is fantastic. Like they have the little lines here. Look, I'm gonna grab this thing. They have the dot matrix lines in this, and like they can make it look like blocky. They can zoom in and out. The emulation is really, 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 really good. So if you like Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games, like you should update your Nintendo online service and play some really good games. Yeah. Like Gargoyle's Quest, which that is a deep cut. I didn't think anyone had that game but me, but apparently, Nintendo was like, yeah, sure, let's give the kids Gargoyle's Quest, which I played very recently and fell in love with. I was like, I'll play this for 10 minutes. And that was 2 hours later. I was beating the boss and stuff. So it's still a good game.
That might explain the why you like video games so much, and I'm a little bit more lukewarm on it. Because 2 hours into a game, I would still be like trying to figure out, okay, how does the sword work?
Are you the type of player that runs around and you're looking at everything rather than actually doing the game?
I mean, yes, in general, but it's also
that's how I play games.
It's just like having to do this enough to map. Okay, brain, this button does this. This button does this. It takes me forever to get there, and it's just not the way my system works.
Well, I mean, like the thing that I love about gaming is three things. A, it transports you to a different world. I think that's cool. B, it brings people together. And C, I forgot. But those two things, Dan, we have video game parties and things like that. Like, okay, even though you don't play the games with us, like you're still together. We're still doing things we're enjoying games together.
Oh,
so
yeah.
even if you don't how to push a button, that's why I think gaming is important.
I enjoy video games.
At this point in your life, you may need a cozy video game rather than an active video game. Does that make sense?
Well, let's put it this way. All this talk about Metroid. I played Metroid Dread for long enough to make it 5 minutes past the cutscenes, which I think was 4 hours. And I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'll come back to this.
And see, me, I blew through Metroid Dread. I destroyed it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Got 100%. It took 23 hours. The game is only like a 4-hour game, and it took me 23 hours to get through it. So maybe, Dan, what you need is like Phoenix Wright. There's a Phoenix Wright game for the Switch, The Great Attorney. Maybe you need something a little more.
It's not my thing.
Really?
What? Yeah. You're a lawyer. Why not?
Maybe it's because he does all this, and he's like, this would not happen in a real court.
Same reason I can't watch courtroom shows.
I feel you. I can't watch the Big Bang Theory. Like it was like no, not nerdy, not correct. I get it. Dan, what you need? We need to find you super casual games.
That's why I said cozy games. Cozy games. Just go for a cozy game.
I can handle. Breath of the Wild is specifically for me.
I think what's that game, Tidying Up, where you're just putting things in order and stuff? I think that would be the game for.
Yeah, but see, the thing about that is I would be doing that a bit. You know what? I should go do some laundry.
I was thinking of what's the name of the game where you're a bear and you run a bed and breakfast? I think.
Oh yeah, I know exactly the one you're thinking about. Oh crap.
I think it's like bear bread and breakfast or something.
Bear Country or something. Yeah.
You are a bear, bear that eats people.
It
but you
actually
run
has
bed
a
and breakfast.
surprisingly kind of interesting deep story to it too.
Yes, it does. Yeah, Dan, that's a new game.
No, it's delightful. You run a bed and breakfast, and then you find out the world is not as it seems.
Yeah.
It's great. It's very cozy,
Okay.
and then it's not.
It
But then
is
it's really
cozy.
cozy.
It is cozy.
Oh yeah, Dan, have you played Oxenfree? I really
I
enjoyed
have not.
Oxenfree,
I
and then
don't
they're
know.
having Signals
I don't
come
even know
out
what it
soon.
is.
It might be something that you would enjoy. It's a little bit cozy. It's less so much of a button, like, oh, I've got to do this and this and this and this. And it's more about finding things and dialing into certain areas of the map and world to discover and unlock secrets.
See, I don't know about that because the problem is, what was the second, Rob? What was the second Alex Kidd game?
Miracle World.
Was that the one where, or
Oh wait, no, Wonderland.
which one was and maybe it wasn't an Alex Kidd game. Yeah, it was an Alex Kidd game. It's the one where you're stuck in the castle, and you're trying to do all the puzzles to get out of the castle.
Okay, that's not Miracle World.
Is that the one where you microwave a hamster?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
And there is something about that game that you have to do at a specific in-game time, like to progress, and like the clues about doing that are not particularly clear in my recollection, and like that pretty much ruined me forever on games that require you to figure things out with puzzles, because I thought that was really unfair. And
so was it Miracle World, or was it Lost Stars, or was it Enchanted Castle? It's one of these.
I'm gonna go on and say it was Enchanted Castle, because the whole point was that you were trying to escape from a castle. But that tell you what, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll figure it out.
You're like, let me do some Google sleuthing.
Miracle World. There you go. That's the one on the Master System. Okay, which is behind me right here. I see this comment about Killer Clown.
Not Enchanted Castle.
Chainsaw Massacre. Can I talk about that? Okay. So if you go up to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre bit, there's a Killer Clowns game.
Oh, way up here. Yeah, I got you.
Here we go.
James Abel.
James, thank you. If you buy that game, you'll feed my kids. So let's try and do that. We're doing our best right now to bring that out this year.
Tell us more about that. Explain that, Rob.
I'm a designer producer for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. So if you see me coming in tired, it's because I've been typing or producing or designing for that game. Now, Killer Clowns is a good friend of mine. He's also the producer for that game as well. So I believe that, as horror games are coming out, rising tide lifts all ships, right? So I would love you all to buy our Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, but I would also like you to buy Killer Clowns as well.
Really?
Feeding the babies.
I didn't know anything about Killer Clowns coming out as a game.
Yeah. So it looks, they've released a trailer and they're doing a great job of promoting that game. I have to give them props. Yes, basically it's based on the film The Killer Clowns, which I have seen.
That terrified me as a child.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying.
It's so
terrifying. But honestly, our game too is based on the film, and we're trying to be, one of the things about our company, about Gun, is we're really about focus on authenticity. And in the years of process that we've been going through this, we've been taking pictures and recording audio and scaling things and conversing with actors and trying to make sure assets are exactly as they should be. If you follow us on media, which is TX Chainsaw Game, you can see some of the things where we've recorded the chainsaw, we've done all the mocap stuff and all the VO, and it's been a really cool process. So please, when it is released this year, please buy that. You'll feed me and my kids. They'll be happy. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll talk more about the game later as we get further down, and I can actually talk about it more freely. Let's see. I think Alice, High Tech World and Shinobi World. I forgot about those. Well done.
I cannot figure out what game I'm thinking of, guys.
I think you're thinking of Enchanted Castle. I'm pretty sure it's Enchanted Castle.
I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
Well, and then he also suggested Maniac Mansion.
Okay, so tomorrow, Limited Run Games is releasing Maniac Mansion for the NES and I think the Switch or something. Which I'm like, did you
Oh,
hit anyone? Okay, raise your hand if you played Maniac Mansion back in the day, or if you even know what it is, right? Tina's my girl. I know you're all about
I
this.
remember it.
So Maniac Mansion is a fun game. It's for those that don't know, it's like a point and click type adventure game, and these kids going into a mansion and wacky hijinks and horror things ensue. It's a fun game, but it's more like a point and click adventure game like Shadowgate and things like that.
Mhm.
It's great, but I'm not sure like if it warrants a limited run re-release. Maybe I don't know. It was a fun game.
It has like its own like cult following, so I think that's why they're doing it. I mean, there's I loved point and click adventure games. Like, you had like Space Quest, King's Quest, all those types of games I used to play on the computer system way back in the day. You have like these fan cults around these like old style point and click games.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely,
there's a market
absolutely.
for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like on the Nintendo, because I never had a PC, I was a poor little kid. I didn't have a PC, so I played
You
some
went
of
to
those
a
games.
public school, right? Didn't your like where I went to school in Lexington, Cardinal Valley, like we got if we were good in class, we got like in so much time, like a 30-minute window, like for recess, we could go outside or we could play on the computer system, and that's what I would do. They had like Carmen and stuff like that.
yeah.
We did have a computer lab, and I could go play some games, but the only games that were loaded on these PCs were like the kids there. I knew nothing about computers. I just knew that I liked the Nintendo, and then I learned you had to learn how to use a computer to make Nintendo games. I was like, okay, well, I got to be a computer scientist to do that. All the PCs
Well-
there, they had Doom and Wolfenstein. That's
Okay.
in
What
Carmen,
was
San Diego.
Yep.
I think it was Mac specific for
Mhm.
when Macs were in schools when we were kids. But what was it, Microzine, or what was the it was a subscription service where the school would get like a new disc every month with a couple of
I
different
know what
games.
you're talking about. Was it
Mm.
the Apple II?
Yeah, it was Apple II stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
I
Apple
remember
IIe
that because
stuff.
you would have different like things. Like a lot of it was like typing games to help kids type faster. Like you'd climb
Yeah.
a mountain. There were
Maybe
like,
speaking.
yeah,
Yeah.
paint. Or if you had a friend that hooked you up, you could just get a sweet DOS disc with DOS games, and you'd play
Yeah,
those
right.
instead.
I
And
don't remember that well.
on
I'm a
the
big fan
not
of the
Maniac
Mr.
Mansion, if Maniac Mansion was an NES game, because I did not have Nintendo.
Well, it was also on PC. It's a
I was
PC game too.
Sega only.
So that's the one that was where you microwave, yeah.
Okay, I was
Okay.
Because
thinking
there's
that-
two I always get mixed up because they're about like kids and they're going around trying to escape places.
Okay, right, all right. But Maniac Mansion, I thought Maniac Mansion was also on PC. Maybe I'm mistaken. Like Shadowgate and The Uninvited and some of those other games.
Yeah,
thought a lot of
Shadowgate
those-
appeared on the NES, and it was a computer game. It actually had a remake in the early aughts, didn't it, or late 90s?
Shadowgate, maybe. I'm not sure, but I like that style of game. Even though it
Mhm.
kind of creeps me out back in the day, because it was Shadowgate, The Uninvited, and I forgot the third one. There was like a little trilogy that came together. And yes, actually, Tina, you're right. The three of those did come out as a remaster type thing. That's actually
Yeah.
true. Yep.
Is anybody familiar with this TV series, Maniac Mansion TV series? I do not remember this.
I
No.
don't remember this either.
No.
Interesting.
Maniac Mansion.
All right, you got your research to do.
And right after I watched the Super Mario Brothers Super Show,
I think it had to be High Tech World.
High Tech World. Okay.
Yeah,
The game that you're thinking of?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, speaking of the old Apple IIs, yeah, that's the Oregon Trail. That's where I started right there. I remember, I may have said this before, but the very first time I ever did programming was on an Apple IIe when I learned just enough basic to recreate, well, not recreate, but do a really poor version of, so you remember Game Boy Tetris, original Game Boy Tetris, when you would beat so many levels or complete so many lines. Yeah, that thing right there.
Focus.
You'd get to the little animation of the spaceship taking off.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been a space kid since I was a little kid, and I was totally enthralled by that. And I remember learning just enough basic to program to like learn how to do like ASCII art animation.
Mhm.
I like slowly had a little. I spent so much time working on that. I kind of wish I still had it somewhere.
That is the sweetest thing I've heard today.
Pen, print.
That's cute.
Yeah, it pretty much was. Yeah, yeah.
I have a similar story. So as I told you like 10 seconds ago, I love Nintendo games, and I learned you had to know computers to make video games. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be a computer science major. So I went to my first like C++ programming class, and I made a role-playing game, a text role-playing game. And every time I learned like a function or a call or a random or a for loop or whatever, I would add it to my little RPG. So like I didn't make ASCII art like you, but I was like, I'm gonna make my role-playing game from text, same as you every week, and it got a little better. Then like by the end of the semester, like it was a pretty decent, fully functioning text-based role-playing game. And I wish I might still have the code somewhere, but yeah, I totally empathize where you're coming from.
Me and my friends made a game on Texas Instruments. You remember those old calculators that you had to use in like calc and stuff?
Oh yeah.
So we made a little RPG like where you fought teachers and stuff on our calculator. I miss those days because I used to go to Transy academic camp and learn programming there, and so that's what I did. So I've got a little bit of background. Don't ask me to code anything because I cannot remember.
I didn't know this. How long have I known you? And I didn't know you.
You didn't know that? Yeah, I went to Transy for 2 years during the summer to do coding and programming, like way back in 97, 98.
Wow.
Really, Tina?
Yeah.
When programmers were programmers.
Yeah.
And I went to art school instead.
Uphill both ways.
So, Tina, you're talking dirty to me now. Tell me more about you programming at Transy.
A long time ago, I used to make stupid errors on my coding, like backslash and so forward, so forth, that type of thing.
That never goes away. That never goes away.
No.
We all did that. Yeah. And see, there you go.
So now you know what Apple II is, right?
Glad we can help, Aiden.
Talking about old games and stuff. I have what I've always thought was the first example of a game with effective like copy protection DRM, and I'm curious if you've heard of this. Did you ever play Chuck Yeager's Flight Simulator?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep,
where
absolutely.
every time you started the game, it said, "What model airplane is this?"
Mm-hmm.
And you had to look it up in the book.
Yep. That was the copy protection. That was awesome. Copy protection.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the story. I was just kind of figuring I'd have to explain it more, but you're like, yeah, I was right there.
There's a episode of Modern Vintage Gamer where he talks about old school copy protection and how some of these games had like rotating cardboard pieces of paper that you had to rotate to find, or the manuals are like on page 73. What is the fifth word, the bottom second paragraph, and typing things in, right? Or you had like pieces of film that were different colors.
The red, yes, and you had to find it. I remember those on some of the games. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, old school copy protection, like that's some really cool. Like it's really interesting how they came up with ways to like keep people.
It's honest. Like a decoder ring. Like you're sitting there, like, all right. So if I do this one with this selection, then I have to find the rest of this code in this book.
Yeah.
And if you lost your book, sorry, you can't play the game. That's why you don't copy that floppy. Don't copy that floppy.
Yeah. I mean, what if
we did it? I mean,
system just relied on Xerox is too inefficient to help you here.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are good memories. Don't copy that floppy.
Man,
yeah, everyone, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube and type "Don't copy that floppy," and you'll be like, what a time period you guys grew up in.
Right. Because any of us at any time, we're perfectly capable of copying that floppy. Making a Xerox now where it's like, I'd really like to be able to watch this Blu-ray on my computer that I purchased, but I can't.
Man, I remember them being like selling my family their first computer and them being like, you won't need any more than 10 megabytes for your computer.
Oh, right. Didn't Bill Gates say you will never need more than 640K of memory? Didn't he say that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you'll need.
Freaking Bill Gates, get him in here.
Yep, Torsten. I remember some of those.
Oh yeah,
Leisure Suit Larry. Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, I'm reselling those games. I worked at Babbage's America's Computer Software Headquarters. We need Andrew. You need to figure out how to push a button and make that video clip play.
I know there's a way to do it. I see Omar do it. I just haven't learned how to.
Nothing but Babbage's here in my life. We need
Yep.
to figure out how to make that happen.
Yep.
So yeah, we need to sell.
You just need your
boatloads.
folder open and pop the
Just
images in.
double click it, hold
Yep.
up on the phone. Nothing but
Yeah.
Babbage's in my life. Yeah, we sold a ton. I think before I left, I think Leisure Suit Larry 6 was the last one before I left Babbage's. I think that was it.
I remember those games and not being allowed to play them.
And what's his name? Al Rowe. I think his name is Al Rowe. And I think he released a newer Leisure Suit Larry not that long ago. Or I could be making that up.
You're right. But not that long ago.
It tickles my brain a little bit, but I don't.
I'm reasonably sure that was in the early aughts.
Okay.
I mean, like, is it your Metro Prime? Like, it was just yesterday. 20 years ago.
Yesterday, 21 years ago.
Rob, when was the last time you heard 386?
I have something called Mr. FPGA board, right? And this thing doesn't emulate, but it simulates at the clock level all the chips on old like consoles and PCs and things like that. So there is in fact a 486, 386, 46. What's the technical term for them? Core module that is for this device. So I was able to run old DOS games like Dark Forces and things like that on this little thing, and it was perfectly exactly as I remembered. So it hasn't been that long since I've heard 386 because Dark Forces does not run on a 386; it needs a 46.
That's oh gosh, yeah, I remember those days.
And Leisure Suit Larry did release they did release the Leisure Suit Larry in October 23rd of 2020.
There you go. Thank you.
Subtitle: Wet Dreams Dry Twice.
Wait, what?
Wet Dreams Dry Twice.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Wow.
And that was the same designer, Al Rowe, I think was his name, something like that. Yeah, and I think he made commentary. He was like, "Yeah, you can't make a Leisure Suit Larry game like you used to, like 20 years ago." Like, yeah, no, you probably can't.
No, it's
no, a little bit problematic.
Mm.
I miss some of those old style games, like Monkey Island released recently. Just the
like
crude humor that the kids were playing, it went over your head as a kid, and now you're like, how did they get away with this stuff?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, actually, I like this question. My first computer was a black and white 1992 MacBook that my uncle gave me in '97. Let's go around. Let's talk about what our first computers were. What were our first computers?
The Tandy 1000. Radio
Gateway.
Shack. No hard drive. That's all I can tell you about it. But
Nice. Mine was a it wasn't even like a name brand. Mine was like a custom built one. I believe it was a 386 with 4 meg of RAM, I think.
Dang, son, you're rich.
I think no, or like 3. It was. I remember it actually had it had like an odd number for a while. Like I say odd, not even odd, but just like a weird number, which probably was an odd number. That was put together with, at first it was put together with the help of so the person that actually got me into computers, we had like a little Apple, going back to the Apple IIs that we were talking about. We had like a little Apple II lab at my small little school that I went to. But then, so I grew up going to a Catholic school, and the priest at the time, his name was Father Dane. He was the big tech consultant of the whole area. And I'll never forget when he like got me into computers by like, you know, how weird of a memory is it that your priest comes in and says, "Let me show you this awesome game called Castle Wolfenstein," or Wolfenstein 3D, actually. Yeah.
I'm leaving, stupid.
He's like, "Look how fun it is to blow up Nazis. This is great." And I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. And he showed me a few other things. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm hooked. I'm in. And so, yeah, we like put together kind of a little custom thing. And then I remember upgrading it at one point to like a 20 meg hard drive. And that was the shit. Yeah.
That's awesome.
space for days.
Exactly.
My first family like computer was my sister's, but stayed at my grandmother's, which was a Commodore, if you remember those guys.
Mhm,
Commodore
mhm.
64?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So my sister had one of those. I wasn't allowed to touch it. My first actual computer, the personal home PC, was the Gateway 2000. I think it was in 97. And we got the unit with a subwoofer, which made MIDI sound awesome when you
Mhm,
turned up
yeah.
that
Was that
volume.
the Sound Blaster all 64 providing that bass? No
Yep.
treble.
Oh man, I loved me some good midis back in the day.
Oh, dude. Like, so, you know, I talk about my Pixel 7, the greatest phone that you can possibly get. And I have ringtones assigned to most of you folks, and I use MIDI songs because they always sound great when you call me. Like, I still download MIDIs.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
What's my song?
Computer.
Yours is, well, if you call me, then we might be able to hear it. I think I made yours something in Final Fantasy.
I'm
It's
calling
either Final
Rob.
Fantasy or Dragon Quest.
Calling Rob right now.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna see if Rob is lying. I think he's Dragon Quest. Let's see. Here we go.
I still have your entry for your home phone number. Wow, do you even have a home phone number anymore?
I sure. Oh, there it is. Oh, we're gonna cut. We don't want to hide it. We don't want to see his number. That is in fact Dragon Quest. There we go.
That's
Somebody's
fantastic.
gonna
Nice.
screen cap that.
Yep, freeze frame. I'm gonna get even more spam calls than I
Where's your
already get.
Rob?
All right, I want
Block,
to talk about my
block,
first
block.
computer. So, as I grew up like the jerk, a poor black child, I didn't have a computer at all. But Andrew, you know the guy. As I told you, I've said this twice. I learned in order to make Nintendo games and video games, I had to learn computers. I had to learn computer science. I learned how to program. I like math. Okay, fine. I learned to do this. So I tried to apply for a little company named DataBeam and a wonderful gentleman named Tom Mayberry.
Yep.
He was the guy that, like, took my interview. And again, I never had a computer. I didn't know computer stuff. The only computer things I knew were at the computer science lab at UK, right? And I didn't know anything, but I had a little geeky website, and I had I had a static background with scrolling. I had lots of pictures of anime and Resident Evil and things like that. And I had MIDI sounds that autoplayed if you go to certain pages. My web page was balling out of control. So Tom, he was like, you don't have any experience, so you don't know anything at all. But I saw your webpage, and you're totally a geek like us. Come on board. So yay! Again, little nerdy black kid. I had no money, had nothing. Tom Mayberry goes, you can't really work here or say you're a computer scientist without a computer. So I'm going to give you a computer. So Tom gave me a Pentium 100 with I think it started with 4 gigs or 4 megs, not gigs.
Yeah.
4 megs of RAM. Maybe it's 32 megs of RAM. I think it's 32 megs of RAM, a 2 gigabyte hard drive, and a Trident 512K video card, which eventually I upgraded to the Creative Labs 4 meg, like NVIDIA. It wasn't NVIDIA. It was Verite. It was a 4 meg Verite video card. And that's what got me started in PC gaming. So, I didn't know anything about DOS or Windows or any of that stuff. But Tom gave me this computer. He was like, hey, if you want to work here and do computer stuff, you got to know these things. So him giving me this thing is literally the reason that I'm here today in front of you doing video games and doing streaming, like all that, because of Tom Mayberry. So, anytime that you guys can help someone, you all can really influence some little kid in your life and may not know it. So donate your old computers to kids. Who knows what will happen to them who knows what will happen to them?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
I'm gonna cry. This is sweet.
Wow, man.
What are you talking about? Kids these days would be like running circles around most people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we didn't have things like here's Unreal Engine 5 where you can just make whatever you want to. No, this is like
here's your sandbox.
Here's Unreal Engine 5. It runs on your watch.
Yeah. I had a DOS book on here's how to make a black pixel appear here on the screen. This is the code. It was this much code to make that happen. Like, what? So,
I'm still amazed that full-fledged games that we used to play are you're just like, oh yeah, I'll just play it on my phone.
What's
Lunar? There you go, on my phone.
Tina, I remember you probably empathize with this too. I remember going to Nintendo, or excuse me, sorry, not going to Nintendo, going to Japan and having those flip phones, and they played Dragon Quest and Metal Gear, and we were like, wow, You can play Metal Gear and Dragon Quest on a phone. That's amazing.
I felt like a country bumpkin being like, "Can
Yo,
we have
need to
this,
get off your
sir?"
tractors and play these games.
Right. We got some other people chiming in with their first computers.
My brother's first computer was a Commodore 64. Man, okay, so even though I say the story that I just told you, I remember seeing a Commodore 64 and playing Lunar Lander.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
We had a clone of that for the Tandy.
What was it called? Lunar Mander?
It was called Lem.
Oh, okay.
What was the tank game on it? Me and my sister used to play it all the time. Do you remember the tank game? The controls were horrible.
That was a universal truth.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's every game back in the day. I remember a guy when I was in third, second, first, an early grade, and I had a Nintendo, and this guy had an IBM PC, and I went over to his house, and he showed me how to write BASIC and stuff, and I made a little basic little menu game, had little music and stuff, and I was like, wow! And he showed me Space Quest and King's Quest, and I was blown away by this, right? Like, oh my gosh, these games are so cool. Then he came over to my house, and I showed him Mega Man 2, and he was blown away by the fact that you can play a game and controls are responsive and music was great and graphics were moved around. So it was so interesting to have a PC focused person blown away by console games, and me being a console person blown away by CGA and EGA graphics back then. Yeah.
There you go.
Movies.
Oh my god. iPod classic.
I was that guy. I re-encoded all my movies to play on my iPod Classic. Oh man, where is that thing?
I did too.
I bet I have it around here somewhere. It was fat and chunky and it had the touch wheel.
Uh-huh.
I didn't
You guys
have
were
the
lucky. I
wheel.
just had the little mini that just played music. But before that, I felt like I upgraded because I had a little Discman that would skip in your backpack.
So we need to, you know what? Okay, talking about
In
retro hardware.
college.
I got some retro hardware within arm's length. Here we go. Who knows retro hardware? Who knows what this is? Anyone know what this is?
Hmm.
Let me open it up.
3 shells
Open it
on.
up. Who knows?
Is
Yeah,
that
nothing
the oh yeah. I used to have a bowling.
This is the U-Force for the Nintendo. And what you would do with the U-Force is you could play Punch Out, and you would be punching to these sensors, and it would do stuff. Or you can get this. I can't reach from here. You can get a joystick and put it in the middle, and you could play Top Gun.
What? That seems like it probably had a lot of promise and would be really difficult to actually beat Mike Tyson using.
Yeah. So I also have the Power Glove, and it was much easier
Major
to beat Mike Tyson with the
delays.
controller.
That was the problem with the 80s, major delays. That was kind of built off the system of didn't it have little lights that would come up?
Yep. Tina knows what's up. That's exactly right. So yeah, I fell across this thing. I was like, oh my gosh, when I was a kid, I always wanted a U-Force. I never could get one. I had the Power Glove, which is behind me over there, but I never had a U-Force. So now I can try and punch Mike Tyson with laggy, non-responsive.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
What a privilege.
It's not worth it. Not at
It was
all.
really cheap. That's why I went for it. It was under $50. $50. Now, isn't that nice?
You know what's worth it are those old game systems, and that's why I thought you were pulling out at first. They were all in one. Do you know what I'm talking about? They would have baseball or football.
Oh,
We had a bowling one, and you would hit
electronic ones.
buttons, and it'd be like ding 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 ding, bing,
Yes.
and the lights would disappear for the ones that you hit. I
don't-
had those.
Oh, Tina. Hold on. No.
You sent
Okay.
Rob on an epic quest.
Normally, within arm's reach is exactly what you're talking about.
We had a baseball one, and then we
With
had
the
the
little
bowling
red
one. And the
lights,
bowling
right?
one was if I come across pictures of it, I'll have to send it in the chat, guys.
Ooh, Tina, this might be the box. Hang on. This
I
might be
miss
the
this
box.
game so much. Also, I had a learning thing that you looked through this little viewfinder and you put cards in that had an owl, and I don't remember it. Yeah, so that's a smaller version. I those are the Tiger games.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
These are from like the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. They are not Tiger games. It's kind of before Tiger
Okay.
did their thing.
Yeah, so I had the one that had the LED lights. It was football.
Mhm.
I think I had the football one. Ooh, okay. So the next time we do this, let's get our old retro hardware. That's a dog. That's
See,
not
I don't
retro
have
hardware.
any of that hardware. We left it up in an attic one time when we moved, and I cried. And my dad's like, "No, the house is already sold. People have already moved, and you can't get into the attic, Tina."
Hello, can I have my toys back in the attic?
You should go over there now.
I was about to say, dude,
That is
Beast
like
Racing, go look
30
us up.
years ago.
Look,
Hi. I
Look,
used to live in this
there's
house 30 years
mysterious
ago,
box
and there's
left
some
in the
stuff in the attic that's mine. Can I go get it, please?
I'll give you the exact address so you can be like, "Hey, are these toys still in the attic?"
If there are, please send them to.
I feel like actually at some point, like that's going to be something that we just do. We walk around all the neighborhoods and say, "Pardon me, ma'am, we'd like to look in your attic for toys from the 80s."
Is that a squirrel or is that Dan just squirreling around up there?
That's right. And when I say we'd like to do it, I mean we've already done it.
We've already
Now
done
that
it.
we know, now that we confirmed there are items of interest in your attic.
Andrew, what do you have in your hand?
Speaking of toys, this is another Christmas gift that
Nice.
my brother
Make
and his
yourself
family
free.
got me.
That one.
Lego Space Station. I've been wanting this for a little while now. This is mostly put together. I've still got a few pieces to work on, but yeah, this is a total of 864 pieces. Not for the faint of heart.
That's a lot of pieces, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with like a stand that you can mount it on, but I kind of want to like find a way to like drop it and hang it from my ceiling or something. Yeah.
That would look cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got to get up early and drive in the morning, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off.
Yep, I got to do the same thing, except I'm not
Oh
driving.
yeah, it is time though.
We are of that condition.
That hour went by fast.
It was really good talking to you guys, and we need to not skip that. We all had conflicts. That's why we weren't able to pull this off. But let's make sure we try and resolve conflicts so we don't miss this out. I really enjoyed talking to everyone in chat. Love you guys. Good to see you. And of course, I love you guys too as well. So
Yeah, it was super great to see a lot of cool names, a lot of familiar names in the chat.
Absolutely.
see you guys.
Near Wolf got suckered into an HD DVD player. I have a ton of HD DVDs.
Oh my
Do
gosh.
not sell those. They're worth pennies. I think I have like
One day.
300 on HD DVD and was better than the Blu-ray release. And I was like, this is why HD DVD will win. And it was fine.
Definitely did not.
So all that said, thank you so much. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you.
Like,
Right.
subscribe, smash notification icon. Have a good one. Thanks.
All the usual. See y'all.
Night.
Take care.